Oh boy, game is mad. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some anger today, some outrage. Now, yesterday, I was just spending my good old day relaxing, making videos, and calming down, and playing some video games. I actually beat Cyberpunk 2077 after starting Phantom Liberty, did all of the content, absolutely mind-bogglingly great experience. Now, while I was having a good time gaming, the Helldivers community was having a hard time linking their accounts to the PlayStation Network. Now, of course, this sounds like a bit of a simplification, but to give you an idea over here, this is Helldivers 2's Steam page. Now, Helldivers 2 is one of the most popular Steam games out there, still to this day, after a massive, mostly negative community outpouring. 126,000 recent reviews of mostly negative, okay? 31% of them being positive in the last 30 days. Why do you think this game that was beloved 4 or 5 months ago ended up getting such a bad rap after its release date? Its perfect release date, the poster child for live service games. Well, they had something where they called it the Helldivers 2 account linking update, okay? So this is a pretty massive change, and one of the reasons why I personally uninstalled the game and really don't need to look back, okay? Because I think what we're talking about today is actually a pretty massive issue in terms of gaming in general, especially if you're on the PC, but I'll get into it. So here they write, on May 2nd, attention Helldivers. Due to technical issues of the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. Now, if you remember, back when this game released, the server support was absolutely destroyed because of the player base just coming in droves. And because of all that, they started to remove what they would call essential stuff later on. So what they're saying here is you needed to have a PlayStation account linked to play this game in the first place. The only reason they stopped it was so people could play the game on release date. They removed a lot of those requirements at the time. And they're not wrong, those requirements were listed from day one on the Steam page in the bottom right, okay? So here they said that grace period will now expire. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation Studio games. That is a bullshit statement, okay? Let me tell you fucking right now. Linking your account to PlayStation does nothing to benefit you when it comes to security or protecting them even. It all comes down to upping PlayStation's monthly active user numbers, and that's pretty much it. That is a bold-faced fucking lie straight from the mouth, okay? No company, if they ever say that when you link accounts, actually means there's no way that that actually provides any form of extra safety or security. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. As if Steam banning or doesn't exist in general, right? Like, are you kidding me? Like, who are you trying to fool? As such, of May 6th, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will require to have linked a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June the 4th. So again, this is what they brought in, and because of all of this, over 100,000 negative reviews, but their player base is still actually actively playing the game. So it's kind of debatable how effective of a boycott it works if all you do is destroy the Steam page reviews, but you still actually played the video game, all right, based on the Steam current user numbers. Now, here's the thing, okay? When I first saw this, I thought to myself, man, almost every game, unfortunately, requires you to do this, okay? If you play any multiplayer game, you probably have to make a multiplayer account on any server. So, for instance, if I want to play Rainbow Six Siege and I buy the game on Steam, I have to link my account to a Ubisoft account. If I want to play Grand Theft Auto Online on Steam, I have to buy the game on Steam, or I can buy it from Rockstar, but I still have to install Rockstar's dogshit launcher just so I can play the game that I bought on Steam. In fact, let me explain something even more outlandishly brain dead to you, okay? When I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition on console, right? Because I buy those games mostly on... I'm mostly a console gamer for single-player stuff, because I buy the physical disc, I come home, I own the data on the physical disc, and I don't have to worry about making bullshit accounts, okay? I'm not even signed into PlayStation Network on my console anymore, okay? I usually have my internet turned off just so I can test physical media whenever I buy this, but it's a long story right there. When I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition, all the game came on the disc. I installed the install disc, the play disc, played the game. Now, when it comes to the PC version, Mass Effect Legendary is a single-player experience, right? However, on the PC, you still need an EA account and you still need a fucking internet connection to play a single player game. So you buy the game on Steam, you download over 100 gigabytes, and then as soon as you hit that big green play button on Steam, you have to sign in to an EA account. Why the fuck would I need an EA account just because the game belongs to EA? Why do I have to install another launcher on top of the launcher I am already using to play a video game? And it's one of the reasons why PC gaming for me is one of those things where I kind of like, I wish there was still a market for physical media. Back in the old days of PC gaming, you could still stick a disc into your system, install the game, put in a CD key, and play it right there. Now it's all digital storefronts, right? So on the PC, you have multiple digital storefronts, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. So what Sony is doing is not a brand new thing, but the difference here is they've just basically mandated it for every player right here from the get-go. When you actually start playing Helldivers 2, you're supposed to see this screen where you scan a QR code, you link your PlayStation account, and everything is pretty much hunky-dory. So now, because of the negative Steam reviews, people have wrote multiple scathing reviews where they've linked to Sony's actual hack history. So this one very popular post says, "I'm not linking my account to the PSN. April 2011, hackers access personal data of 77 million PSN users. May 2011, personal details on 25 million online Sony entertainment customers stolen. Sony Pictures hack. Hackers steal 100 terabytes. Hackers group access Sony media account." So they start listing the laundry list of Sony cyber attacks. And that's true. Sony did have a lot of cyber attacks. In fact, very recently, as of 2023. If you're worried about Sony getting hacked, there's plenty of articles even about Steam and Valve getting hacked, or really anyone getting hacked these days. But it's a legitimate concern to have. If you don't need to link accounts or create services, like there are PC gamers that don't need to fucking engage with PlayStation in any meaningful capacity. Just because you buy one game shouldn't really be a world where you have to start making accounts and downloading multiple launchers, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's such a weird route to go down on. So again, even the community managers had started to get into it, and I believe community managers are nice individuals in most cases, and I don't believe that demonizing them and starting wars with people that ultimately have no say over anything. In fact, this is a situation where I'm going to tell you right now, this is not Arrowhead game develop. This is not Arrowhead Studios' decision. The game developer has nothing to do with this. The only person that mandates this is Sony Publishing. That's it. So anybody involved in the development side of this was actually just, unfortunately, the lightning rod for all the internet hate that's happening. So for instance, one of the individual over here, the community managers, say this isn't true due to the overwhelming amount of people trying to link their accounts. The whole login process broke and people couldn't get into the game, which is when the game initially dropped. The servers were getting absolutely destroyed by the people legitimately trying to connect. So what they said, one response was, people still couldn't get in. It's a process to force people into an ecosystem when they don't want to because Sony think it'll make people pay for their products. And of course, the community manager says, no, it allows us to ban people. That's the sole reason. So could you not ban individuals on Steam before? Somebody asked. And the community manager said we could, but this increases the effectiveness of what we can do. And again, please give us a technical requirement as to, or a reason as to why linking an account to PlayStation suddenly makes your banning more effective. Now, this is where more legitimate concerns ended up getting raised. For instance, some people in other parts of the world, not in North America, require the ability for you to pass up your government-issued ID or take facial scans to verify your age. Now, I've seen this in the United Kingdom, okay, when you're making accounts there. And I think this is absolutely batshit fucking insane for you to require giving up your government-issued ID or letting any third party scan your face and basically verify your age and basically trust third parties for them to delete your personal information, your personal biometric information that has been scanned for the uses of verification. For you to trust somebody like that is insane, okay? That is not something that should ever be normal, okay? So this is one issue that was tossed into it, right? Why would somebody ever have to give up their government-issued ID just for verification or even request to facial scanning? You should just be able to make your account in like 3 minutes and call it a day. Now, one of the other things where Sony was caught lacking was when people looked into their terms of services, right? So for instance, one of their terms of service, all right, before, I guess you could say May, was signing into PSN is optional when playing a PlayStation game on PC. That's from Sony right there. Of course, no, Sony was being a little sneaky, and they changed that into some games may require you sign in and link to an account on PSN. So the reason we found this out was through the Wayback Machine. Now, unfortunately, at the time of recording, the Wayback Machine is temporarily offline, so I'll probably put in some video proof if I can when editing this video. But take my word for it, this was actually them changing things around. And that is also really shady. So again, the other problem that people had was right on the Helldivers community, there were individuals who purchased the game on Steam from countries that are not supported by the PlayStation Network. So according to this one post, they said there are 190 independent countries in the world. That's true. The whole of Africa, Egypt, and European countries like Belarus don't have PSN. So where it gets really shitty is if you bought the game on Steam in a supported country, right, for Steam, and then all of a sudden PlayStation Network doesn't support your country, that means the game you bought is effectively unplayable. And those guys and gals should receive a 100% refund to their purchase, okay? You can't just sell a product and then yoink it the fuck away. You should never have sold it to begin with. So again, looking into it, you might have heard people say, just lie about your country. Now, according to PlayStation's terms of services, they said on 3.1, all information provided during account creation and during the use of your account must be accurate and complete. We reserve the right to suspend, terminate, or restrict any account that uses or was created using false information. So if you made a burner account with your personal information bullshitted, you're opening up to a ban. And the thing about it is, do I think that Sony is going to ban anybody on their network? Probably not. Just because they want as many active users as they can from a business perspective. The only reason this stuff usually exists, from my understanding, is for people who do region price abuse, which basically means if a game is 30% cheaper in like Russia, people will like make Russian accounts, purchase the game there, and play under an American account and take advantage of like a 30% sales reduction or like a price reduction. And generally speaking, I don't really see many services refusing any form of access if they detect this kind of stuff. But it does open the floodgates to, if somebody is from an unsupported country, they lie that they're from the United States, and all of a sudden, their account is at risk because they lied about where they live from, and PlayStation Network can revoke access at any given moment. That is a big problem. Look, if you live in a country where all of a sudden now to play one of the most popular games is unsupported and you bought it on Steam where it is supported for you, you deserve a 100% refund. But what I see here is not something so far off from many other gaming companies, okay? If you buy an Xbox game on PC, you're going to have to sign into a Microsoft account, right? Even if that game, you're only ever playing it for single-player purposes. And I think this is a trend in gaming that just needs to stop. It's interesting to see the backlash kicked up now, very much so because it's Helldivers and PlayStation. But I feel like this is a backlash, and I feel like I've been talking about this for years, the PC game launcher problem. It's interesting that individuals just keep getting mad about this, but it's interesting to see how much of a spike of anger was lifted because of Helldivers too. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say it right now, I think all of this is wrong. I think if you buy a game on Steam, you should pretty much require Steam only, which I think a fair compromise in all of this situation is if players don't want to link their accounts to PlayStation Network, okay, then restrict them from crossplay. The game has crossplay support, which allows PC and PlayStation players to play together. If somebody does not link their account, lock them to the Steam network, okay? And if you link your account, you can crossplay right there. That means the people who bought the game on Steam are still able to play their game on Steam. They just don't get to play with PlayStation players. And I think that's a fair compromise to make. There's plenty of players in the Steam pool that nobody will ever have matchmaking issues. But yeah, I think that's a far better thing than forcing people to sign on to the PlayStation service. And if you wanted to sweeten the pot, just have released a free skin or something, okay? Incentivize people in there. Do something to cushion the blow. Because realistically, I wish I could work at PlayStation. I wish I could have worked in the publishing sector, because I honestly feel like I could have unrolled this debacle with a bit more tact, okay? I could have literally avoided a lot of the issues just by the stuff that I mentioned in the last minute of this video alone. But yeah, wild day for Helldivers 2. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.